Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal, and this is your latest transfer news. Reports have just come out that Douglas Luiz is back on Arsenal's radar. It could be between him and Bruno Guimaraes to fill that midfield role in case Thomas Partey leaves. Sami Mokbel has also confirmed that Arsenal are currently being updated on the Benjamin Sesko situation, and we want it done before the Euros start. So let's start with Douglas Luiz. This is a player we've been linked to before. I actually did a video cozy yesterday, and you're talking about midfield. It's on his channel right now, and I actually did say that Douglas Luiz would be an option that I would go for. And then obviously today reports have come out that you're still linked. He's still on our radar. He's a midfielder I would like. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between the two players, him and Bruno, both Brazilian, both 26 years of age, both just played European football recently. I mean, Bruno Guimaraes plays at Lyon, but you know what I mean, like for Aston Villa and for Newcastle, both of them have experienced European football with both of those teams. So there's a lot of similarities there. But in terms of the pitch, there's still a few similarities, but obviously a lot of differences as well. But let's start with Douglas Luiz news. This is what Sami Mokbel had to say. Bruno Guimaraes and Douglas Luiz are among the list of potential reinforcements for Arsenal. Any move for the Brazilian midfielders could depend on whether Thomas Partey leaves or not. So again, it depends on what you want to do with the midfield. I'd like to know your opinions on it as well. Do you think we still need a midfielder even if Thomas Partey stays? If Thomas Partey is there and Jorginho is there and Declan Rice is there, do you guys still think we need a midfielder? And if Partey leaves, does that mean we need two midfielders in that spot? Now, for me, I kind of look at it different, and it depends on the targets. Now, if you're going to sign two midfielders, then I would be okay with the links of players like Onana, because a lot of people want Onana from Everton. But for him to come into Arsenal as a main target, I wouldn't want that. But if Partey leaves and we're just going for one specific midfielder, I wouldn't mind it being Bruno Guimaraes or Douglas Luiz. But obviously, if Partey stays, it would be a lot more difficult to get those deals done, to get Luiz or Bruno Guimaraes, because first they would ask for fast team in terms of playing time, and I don't think we'd offer them that because there would be a lot of rotation. So those players, they are quality enough, and they would want to play 38 games out of 38 in a season. And Newcastle can offer Bruno Guimaraes that, and Aston Villa can offer Aston Villa that. And for us, we can't really offer them that because we want a lot of rotation in the team. We want to compete for the Carabao Cup next season, the FA Cup. We want to go far in the Champions League, go far in the Premier League. So we would want to rotate the team and keep everyone fit. But for these particular players, they would want to play every single day. So it depends. Let me know. Would you want one midfielder or two midfielders? I have different opinions on that, depending on which midfielders you're buying. If you're buying Joao Neves from Benfica, I wouldn't mind if you add on top of that different styles in midfield, and also different qualities and all that. I wouldn't really mind that. But if it's just one specific midfielder, I wouldn't want Partey to leave and then we bring on as a replacement. I think that would be a little bit short. And I wouldn't also like if I like Joao Neves as a player, but I think as a direct replacement for Partey, because we need someone to start playing right away. I'm not sure how ready he is to play the Premier League right away. But if you get both of them at the same time and use both of them, I wouldn't mind. But in terms of direct replacements for Partey, I think there's only like 2 or 3 midfielders out there that I would be like, okay, I'm comfortable with this. So Douglas Luiz, what are his qualities? Now, this season he was very, very good for Aston Villa. I mean, I remember when you played them when they beat us recently, that game that cost us. One of the games that cost us. I don't think it directly cost us, but if you won that game, you'd have won the league. He actually didn't play, and I had Aston Villa fans saying, listen, if Douglas Luiz is not playing this game, in big, big trouble. There's no one in that midfield to, mark out Odegaard from the game. So they're worried. He's been a big factor in their team this season, not only defensively, but also attacking-wise. He takes the free kicks, he takes the corners, even scores from corners. He's been taking their penalty kicks this season. Not even been taken. Yeah, he's taken all of the penalty kicks this season. So he's contributed in terms of goals, in terms of assists, and in terms of midfield solidity. And he's a player who's played in the Premier League, and he's experienced the top level. Now, the reason why someone like an Onana wouldn't fill me with confidence is also the kind of level he's been playing recently. Jesus and Zinchenko coming from Man City, they are playing at a very high level. Havertz playing at Chelsea, playing in the Champions League, playing at a high level, very high level. I know Everton is still high level, but in terms of what they've been competing for, it's very, very different. Even Declan Rice, you can see West Ham was struggling in the Premier League, but still they were reaching the semi-final of the Europa League, reaching the final of the conference and winning it. So they are playing at a high level. I think Onana coming from a team that has been, fighting relegation over the last 3-4 years, and then coming to Arsenal, and the targets completely change. You're now not targeting 30, 35 points. We now target that 95 points. I think that would be a huge huge upscale. Like, it would be so difficult to move from that level to that level right away. If it's a bench player, if Onana was coming in as a bench player and players like that kind of level of player, I wouldn't mind it. But for Douglas Luiz, I think he would come to our team and actually improve our team. Like, he's done incredibly well at Aston Villa. He would give you something different. I don't think he's as combative as Bruno Guimaraes. Bruno Guimaraes is going to fight people in that midfield. You could kill someone in that midfield if he could. It's different styles. And now, if you have both of them in your team, I think you probably lift the Premier League very easy. If you had Declan Rice to that would be amazing. But Douglas Luiz gives you a lot of passing ability, set piece ability, a lot of through passes, and comfortable in the ball. All those Brazilian players. Bruno Guimaraes can give you the same, but he'll also give you the strength in midfield, the energy, and the just tackles. I think he made the most tackles. I think more tackles than Rice and Rodri, if I remember that right, this past season. So it's kind of different. So it depends on what you're looking for. Are we looking for someone in the number 6 role that is going to be very comfortable in the ball and spread the ball well, but maybe a couple of deficiencies in terms of tackling and interceptions, but as long as he can pass the ball, and he's not like the worst in terms of defending, the number 6 role is still like at 85% in terms of defending, but not like 100% in terms of defending that midfield role. Or are we looking for someone, who can play as a number 6 and a number 8 at the same time, like a Bruno Guimaraes? It really, really depends. Now, Douglas Luiz often plays a central midfield and a defensive midfield, and not really as a number 8. I think he could with his qualities, but he's always playing as a number 6 or a number 8. But it's very difficult to know which ones we would go for from those two. I'd like to know from you guys. Would you take Douglas Luiz, or would you take Bruno Guimaraes at Arsenal instead? More reports on Douglas Luiz from John Cross of the Mirror. Arsenal may also be monitoring clubs with financial considerations, as Aston Villa are one of those, with the Gunners long-term admirers of Douglas Luiz, but clearly the Midlands club do not want to sell. So that's the other problem. The teams wanting Aston Villa, if wanting a player from Aston Villa right now, if they hadn't qualified for Champions League, then you'd tempt those players to join your team. They would still be tempted by Arsenal and Real Madrid and Man City and Man United. Yes, they would still be tempted. But in terms of I wouldn't be surprised if like a Douglas Luiz wants to stay at Aston Villa and experience that Champions League football with Aston Villa and be in the same competition as them. So apart from us probably fighting for the title next season and offering him more money and him being at a bigger club, Aston Villa can still offer him a lot of things. Champions League football next season, maybe another top 4, race next season, be involved in that, maybe, go further in the European competitions, and maybe quality players coming in to play alongside him next season. So Aston Villa can offer him that. So unless he really wants to play for Arsenal and we can offer him, bigger wages and all that, and offer Aston Villa big money, then it could be a possibility. Same with Bruno Guimaraes. Bruno Guimaraes, it's 100 million, and it's pretty difficult. Now, for him, it's a little different because they're not in a European football next season. Can you convince him to join? But the money would be still higher because he's still a very important player at Newcastle. So I don't know which one you're going to go for, but I think both of them are good players. I would take any of them. If any of them would join Arsenal, I'd feel very confident to go into next season. I'd be like, get me a striker and we go next season. I still want a winger. Yes, some of you want a left back. Personally, for me, I'm looking at striker, midfield, winger. If you get players in those positions, I'll be like, yeah, we are absolutely good to go. So let me know what you make of Douglas Luiz. We've been linked to him a couple of times. There's a time, I think 2 years ago, Arsenal fans were, passing outside his house and tracking his car, and wherever he was going, he's coming to London. Is he going to for a medical? It was absolutely crazy. I think it's the same summer we were linked to Tielemans as well. We didn't get any of them. I don't remember who we got. I think that's the summer that we ended up getting no one. I think that's the one. I think that could have been the one. I don't remember who else we signed. It's tough. The last 3 years has been very busy transfer windows. I do remember we got Jesus and Zinchenko in 2022. Could it have been that one at the end of it? I think it could, but we eventually didn't get him. And I think since then he's improved his game a lot. And similarities again between Bruno Guimaraes and Douglas Luiz, this is not the first time we're being linked to these players. We've been linked to them before. And one thing that goes for them, as I said, is the level they've been playing at. I'm happy the level they've been playing at. Bruno Guimaraes has been playing in the Champions League. Douglas Luiz has been playing in a European competition, competing for top four. So, yeah, I think they would fit in well at Arsenal in terms of the technique and all that. So the one thing I'd say is they pick up a lot of yellow cards, both of them. So, yeah. Next up is Benjamin Sesko, and both John Cross of the Mirror and Sammy Mokbel have had something to report. And John Cross of the Mirror said Benjamin Sesko is top of Arsenal's transfer list for forwards. We've already had that one confirmed a couple of times. And according to Sammy Mokbel, Arsenal are being updated on Sesko's situation at Leipzig. So we did hear that Arsenal want to get these deals done, a couple of them before the Euros, and that's not that far. That's like 16 days away or something, 17 days away. It's not that far. It's very tough to get a deal done before the Euros, especially for those players who are going to play at the Euros, the players like Sesko. It's very difficult because right now they're about to already join the training camps and, focus on that. So, and most of the players really do not want to, put the club and the country together in terms of they need to transfer while they're playing for their country. Most of them want to focus on the competition. And then if they get eliminated, then they come back to their club and sort out their futures. Some of them might still move during the transfer. You never know. But it still would be hard because of the Euros and the Copa America coming up. But if you're able to do it like today and get the deal done, that's absolutely perfect. If by then we haven't got the deal done, we have a good chance of watching him at the Euros. He's in the same group as England. Forgotten the other teams. England, I think Denmark is in the same group as well. But yeah, you get the point. You're going to see him playing at the Euros, so you're going to see what he's all about. This year, we've gone through his stats already. This has been absolutely incredible and scored or assisted in every single game from January to May. I think it was 11 goals and 2 assists, 13 goal contributions in 13 games. Those are very good numbers. Ideally, for my own choice, if I was to choose a striker, any striker, I would go for Watkins. If I was to go for any strikers, but the ones that you've been linked to, I'd go for Isaac. But that is very unlikely now for that kind of money they're asking for. But my second one would be Gyökeres. Again, still a hefty few 100 million euros. But listen, depends on how we want to approach this transfer window. Do we just want to go and sign 2 players, a 90 million player and a 40 million player, and we're done? Or do you want to make like 4 signings, divide it to 50 million? A 15 million signing, an 18 million signing, and a 40 million signing. I don't know how they want to divide it, but it depends. But for me, if Gyökeres came to Arsenal or Isaac or those kind of guys, I'd be over the moon. Like, I feel like those kind of players would like show the likes of Liverpool and Man City, like, okay, they get someone from a Man City, like, be like, who Arsenal have signed Isaac, Arsenal have signed Gyökeres. It's going to be tougher next season, but some players that you might sign, the other teams wouldn't really fear, wouldn't worry about you signing a particular player. And also in terms of the rest of the players in your squad, if a player like Isaac or Gyökeres comes to your team, they'll be filled with confidence. They'll know this player is coming in, this player can score goals, this player is going to help take a bit of pressure away from us and all that. It's probably going to take us over the line. It fills you up with confidence. Now, Sesko is still very young, and the others are 25, 26, but Sesko is only 20 years of age, so it could be a bit raw. Yes, there's a lot of time to improve on a lot of things, but do we have that time? That is the question, because we want to win trophies from next season. So we don't really have a lot of time. Now, we don't have a lot of problems in the team. We are 4 games away from winning the Champions League. We reached the quarterfinal, and we are 2 points away from winning the Premier League. Now, we also need to do better in the cup competitions, but we are not that far. We only need a couple of more additions in the team. And can Sesko improve us? I think he can. I mean, you've never really had an out-and-out striker for a long time, I think since Aubameyang or someone. And this is a guy who just wants to score goals. So I think that also helps. If you just have someone who wants to score goals and has scored goals before, it helps. But yeah, quality also matters. You might want to score. I also want to score goals, but I'm not Luis Suarez. Like, if you take me to a Premier League pitch or a La Liga pitch, I also want to score goals, but I'm not of that quality. So scoring goals and actually doing it is very different. But I think he wants to score goals, and you've seen him scoring goals, so he could be a good option. But that's the latest on those 3 players: Benjamin Sesko, Douglas Luiz, and also Bruno Guimaraes. Let me know what you make of Bruno Guimaraes and Douglas Luiz. Who would you go for? And also between Sesko and Gyökeres, which ones of those would you want? So we did a video with Cozy early this morning. Make sure to check it out. We talked about Jorel had to potentially come in to cover for Gabriel. We talked about Aaron Ramsdale and who could replace him if he leaves. How much money should we be asking for in terms of Ramsdale? And we also talked about Gyökeres a lot in that video. So make sure to check that one out. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.